hey guys, how are you today? I hope that you're all doing well and enjoying this beautiful spring-like weather. Isn't this awesome? Yeah. Well, today our lesson is on the 10 Commandments. Do you know what the 10 Commandments are? Have you ever heard of the 10 Commandments before? Well, they are 10 rules that God spoke to Moses up on a mountaintop. And the amazing thing about these 10 rules, they were given a long time ago, but they are still important for us today because they really teach us a lot of good, valuable lessons. And I really think that God knew what he was doing when he spoke these 10 Commandments because they are really important. Well, have you ever wondered how following the 10 Commandments can help you out in your life every day? Have you ever thought about that before? Well, I have a special guest here today to help explain how the 10 Commandments has helped our family. My special guest today is Ocho Amigo. And yes, Ocho Amigo is a frog. He's a very cute, soft, playful frog. And for those of you who know Spanish, his name actually translates into 8 friend. I know that doesn't really make any sense, but he came to the Vogel house when the Vogel kids were 2, 5, and 8. So that might explain a little bit of something about his lovely name. And boy, did my family love him. I mean, he was loved and loved and loved. The problem with Ocho Amigo was that he actually really only belonged to one Vogel family member. And so that caused a few issues. And if you know your commandments very well, you might know that the 10th commandment here says, you shall not covet your neighbor's goods or your neighbor's stuff. And that's some fancy words, but what it really means is that it's okay to say, hey, that is a cool frog. Can I play with your frog or can I have a turn with your frog? And just to say, cool toy, I like that toy. But it's a whole nother thing when you're like, cool frog. I really like that frog, and all I can think about is that frog and what I can do to get my hands on that frog because I'm just like thinking all the times about that really cool frog. And so when you really start to think about your neighbor's stuff too much and you really want it more than you should, that's when you start to get some problems. And I can say that our house, the 10th commandment was broken a lot. And which led us actually breaking to another commandment, which was this one here that says, it says on here, you shall not steal. We're going to say that you shall not borrow your neighbor's stuff without asking for permission. So that happened where he got borrowed by somebody and he didn't ask the owner's permission. It happened more than once. And then we would run into even more problems when the person who actually owned Ocho Amigo would go start looking for him. And then when you find him in somebody else's bed and he's all cuddled up in the covers, all snug down in there, kind of tucked away, that might cause somebody to be a little bit mad. And well, you know, there's this other one that is you shall not kill, which actually means that you shall not hurt anybody or say words and do actions that are harmful to other people. And when you find your frog in your sibling's bed where it doesn't belong and you've been looking for a really long time, you might say some things that really aren't very nice. And have any of you ever like hit or kicked a sibling before? Well, I would highly recommend that you don't, because when you do that, your parent is going to get involved for sure. I mean, there's no doubt about that mom or dad will step in. And when that happens and mom and dad get involved, you might say some things to your mom and dad that there's another commandment in here that says honor your father and mother, which means that you should really talk respectfully and loving towards your parents. And you know, when you're really riled up about your frog and your sibling is really riled up about the frog, you might say some things to your mom and dad that, well, aren't very nice either. And then mom, in particular in this case, might get a little bit upset and there might be some other things that go on here that, well, weren't very appropriate either. And so you can see how we're kind of going on a little bit of spiral all about this really cute, lovely little frog here. And by the time that dad gets home at the end of the day, the frog has found his way to the top of the refrigerator. Either he hopped out of all the commotion or mom put him in timeout. And all of the kids are in their separate corners in timeout and mom is in timeout too. So just saying that this could happen at somebody's house on more than one occasion. So as you can see, having a few rules to follow about how to get along with each other is a really good thing. And it's helpful to have these commandments to teach us how to get along with each other in the world, whether it's at home or whether it's at school or with people you don't know. They're just really good rules to follow. Our world friends today are learning all sorts of things about the 10 Commandments and getting along with each other. So let's see what they're up to.
Morning, Mr. Stanescu. Leo, good buddy, you read me, over.
This is Leo. How much longer till you're done working, over?
Ah!
Gabe, what are you doing?
Getting scared by you?
It's the Sabbath, Gabe, and you're working. That breaks one of the 10 Commandments. I'm going to have to write you up.
What's happening?
It's your God grade. Bam!
C-?
Gabe, what was all that? Over.
Ruby, she just kind of brought my whole day down. Over.
I'll tell you what's bringing me down. My parents are taking me to this family reunion next week. A total waste of my time. Over.
So your parents are wasting your time, huh? Ever heard of the commandment to honor your mother and father, Leo? Bam! God grade!
A D? My grade point average.
45 minutes. Just hanging there. How are her arms not tired?
Hey, it's Jamila, my best imaginary friend ever!
Oh, hello, Mimi. Thank you. But I must to remind you that I am not an imaginary friend. I am real.
Okay, then how do you explain that your family moved here from imaginary land?
No, you see, we did not move here from imaginary land. We are from...
Hey, check out my new backpack!
Oh, that is very lovely, Mimi. Such tiny horses on it. I wish I had such a fine backpack.
Ha! Oh, finally! You broke one of God's laws, Jamila.
I did?
You said that you wanted a backpack like Mimi's. That's coveting your neighbor's goods. Bam!
Oh, no!
Thank you, Ruby. You are right.
Excuse me?
You're right, I was breaking a commandment. I try my best, but I'm not perfect.
Yeah, I knew you'd slip up eventually.
It's a good thing God loves me no matter what.
Yeah, but you broke a law. You should feel bad right now.
I do not think God's laws are meant to make us feel bad or to judge one another.
What else could they be for?
Well, to teach us how to live, how to love God and love others.
Well, why do I feel suddenly like I wasted my entire day following you around?
Well, it was nice to spend the day with you, Ruby.
I'm just glad to see my best friend and my imaginary friend getting along so well.
Oh my goodness, that Ruby, she can be really annoying, can't she? Walking around giving people grades on whether they are following the 10 Commandments to the T or not. That is not really very nice. I don't even think God grades us like that he watches every action that we have and says, oh, you didn't do that quite right. And she was just waiting to see if she could find people doing something wrong. That does not feel very good, does it, to have somebody judging you and watching your every step, especially when you know that that person themselves probably is not getting all of the rules right either. I'm sure that Ruby did not live a perfect life. So do you have rules at school and at home that you have to live by? Most of us do. Beyond the how to get along with a frog in your house, maybe it's how to share your iPad or your Nerf gun, or there's lots of things at home that can cause us lots of distress, isn't there? But there's lots of other rules that we need to pay attention to too at school. Some rules like keep your hands to yourself, listen when other people are talking, be kind to others, don't run when you're supposed to walk in the halls, don't cheat or copy somebody else's homework. Those are all really important rules too, because following those rules, especially in school, help us have good relationships with our classmates and with our teacher, and also keep us safe from, cheating is not a good thing, and so keeping us honest as well. So what happens when other people don't follow the rules at school, or when you don't follow the rules at school? Well, things can get kind of out of hand and get chaotic, can't they? Feelings get hurt, we hurt ourselves, and we can all end up in all sorts of trouble. Well, our lesson today comes from the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verses 1 through 17, and it is when Moses went up to the top of the mountain and God spoke the 10 Commandments to Moses. And I have some help today from some special readers helping me with this Bible reading, so let's have them share it with us.
The God spoke all these words. I am the Lord your God. We brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of this house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me.
You shall not make yourself an idol, whether in the form of anything that is in heaven above, or that is on earth beneath, or that is in water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them or worship them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, punishing children for the sins of parents, the 3rd and 4th generation of those who reject me, but showing steadfast love to the 1000th generation of those who love me and keep my commandments.
You shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God, for the Lord will not acquit anyone who misuses his name. Always say God's name with respect.
Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. You shall not do any work, you, your son, your daughter, your male or female slave, your livestock, or the alien resident in your towns. For the 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that is in them, but rested the 7th day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy.
Honor your father and your mother, so that your days may be long in the land your Lord your God has given you. Which means, love your mom and dad.
You shall not murder, which also means you should not harm anybody on purpose.
You shall not commit adultery. Always be faithful to your spouse.
You shall not steal. Don't take what isn't yours.
You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. Always tell the truth.
You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or male or female slave, or ox or donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. Be happy with what you have. Don't wish for other people's things.
Thank you guys, that was awesome. I appreciated having help telling about the 10 Commandments. So if you noticed, the 10 Commandments are actually divided into 2 different parts. The first 4 commandments are about us and our relationship with God, how we should live in relationship with God. Things to remember is that God is our God. We are not to have other idols. So keeping God as the top priority, sometimes some of us like to have sports or maybe a sports star, as kind of we place them up as an idol or as a God. Maybe it's things that we own that take that place. But we need to remember that God is the most important in our life. And the other one that we need to work on a lot for a lot of people in our society is using God's name with respect. Don't use God's name when you're mad at the neighbor's dog for barking too loud. But you're supposed to use God's name when you're talking to God and when you're praying to God. That's when it's appropriate. So the first 4 teach us how to be in relationship with God. The second part of the list, are 6 commandments that help us be in relationship with each other and the people around us. Don't lie, don't hurt others, don't take other people's things, be faithful to your spouse, and don't covet your neighbor's goods. All of those kinds of things. So why do you think that God gave us these laws? Why do you think? I mean, these were like thousands of years ago, and they are still good. So why do you think that he gave us those laws? Well, just like at school, they help us so that we can live together and be respectful and loving and really to live in peace and to have peace in our lives. So for those of you who might be wondering just exactly how we brought peace back to the Vogel house after the whole Ocho Amigo arrival at our house, I'd like to introduce you to Ocho Amigos. He arrived at the next Christmas, and he was equally loved, and they have had many great adventures together. They're a little bit dirty, but life got so much better. So I hope you guys are having a fun week, and we will see you together again next time. Thanks. Bye.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary.